let's start talking about Hereditary. So this movie, I had technically seen it before, but I had not watched a good version of it, and by that I mean the version I was watching was lagging, and so I don't think I paid that much attention, and I like missed a lot. So it's good to watch it again in more detail. And yeah, honestly, it's a pretty good movie, and I don't wanna give away too much shit, so I'm gonna very vaguely talk about the plot, and I'll just talk about some scenes that I like and performances and stuff. But yeah, mainly the plot. It starts off with the mother of the main. I forget the main character, the main lady's character's name, but let's just call her the main lady. Her mom is dead. They're at the funeral. Her daughter, you can tell that she's sort of socially awkward. She's like playing by herself, and she's like drawing during the funeral, and her dad is like closes the book and is like stop drawing. And me for that scene I was like just let her draw.
Yeah.
Just let her draw. But honestly, this movie's pretty. Does a good job of creating this tone, and it gradually gets more disturbing. And I don't want to ruin this for anyone who hasn't seen it, because there's lots of twists and turns. But yeah, it's not very predictable. And that's good. I did not see the ending coming really at all. And it is pretty scary. I'm actually gonna look it up right now on IMDb, because it might be able to give me a little more information, like the name of the actor that I can't remember. That always helps. But yeah, 2018 this came out, and then Midsummer, which we'll be talking about shortly, came out the year after. It's the same director. Both these are pretty well-renowned, relative or well-regarded. I think Hereditary a little bit more, but still they're both relatively well-reviewed. And G Bergs, one of our reviewers, he was gonna join us for this one. I don't think he's gonna make it. I should check in the Discord. If anyone does want to talk on Discord, if you've seen Hereditary and you want to talk about it, please check it out. Go to the Discord in the Movie Talk voice channel. Come talk with us. But no pressure at all, ever. But here I got the IMDb open. But yeah, what I was saying is G Bergs, he hated this movie, so I kind of wanted to have him on, but that's okay. He can't, that happens. He couldn't make it, that's okay. But he had some shit that he really did not like about it. He was saying that it's very pretentious, and I kind of get what he means. I still think it's a good movie, but first we're talking about Hereditary. We're not even talking about that one yet, so slow down, Douglas. Toni Collette is the actor, and she's who everyone is talking about, who should have won an Academy Award, because she does have a really fantastic performance as Annie. Annie is the character's name. Okay, cool. This is helping me to look at this. Gabriel Byrne as Steve. Steve's the dad character. He's like, all the acting is good in this, but there was one part. Hopefully this doesn't spoil too much. There's a part where he gets set on fire, but still, it's funny because the way that he acts is just sort of silly. Like it just looks kind of funny. I don't know, but I liked it though. Don't get me wrong. But that was one performance, part of his performance that was just like maybe a little over the top, but still good. Definitely Toni Collette is the best in this, I'd say. Everyone else does a pretty good job. So like I said, it starts at this funeral, and then we find out that her mom, the Charlie, the daughter of Annie, her grandma, that she was involved with some shit, basically, some occult, some ghost and cult shit, basically. And there's spooky stuff like doors closing and shit, and we're like, oh, I didn't open that door, why is it open, and stuff like that. And that's good for building the tension. And then gradually, this is about 30 and 40 minutes, and I gotta talk about how well they do this, because I don't think I'm ruining this. this is like like I said, this is a long movie, and this is like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. And Charlie dies, but this is very important to the plot, so I feel like it's necessary for me to tell this. I don't feel that it's a spoiler. But the way that Charlie dies is Peter, the son, he's like a teenager stoner kid. He just wants to go party with his high school friends, but his mom, Annie, is like, bring your sister with you. Bring her. And he's like, I don't want to bring her, you know? And she doesn't even want to go either. She just wants to chill and draw, you know? So, that's my main thing. I was like, just let her fucking chill. But they made her go, and then he said that it was just a high school party with no drinking, but of course it was a high school party with drinking. And Charlie eats some cake with nuts in it, and Charlie is allergic to nuts. And I knew as soon as they're eating the cake, I'm like, oh, they had the scene with them eating the chocolate bar, and they're like, is there nuts in that? I'm like, there's not nuts in it. I was like, that means that they're allergic to nuts. So they do a good job of telling the story without like ramming it down your throats, if that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. They have a good way of portraying things without directly telling you. And another point,
read between the lines kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And with Charlie's death, they even go as far as not really showing, because you'd think that, and obviously they do, but they just don't show it. Like I said, Annie and Peter having this fight, because Peter accidentally, and I guess I haven't explained this yet, but I will. Peter accidentally kills Charlie, which is super devastating, obviously. Killing your own sister by accident. Well, because he's trying to rush her to the hospital because she ate the cake with nuts in it, and she's having an allergic reaction, and her head's out the window, and he hits a deer, and then her head hits a pole, and her head comes off, and she dies. And it's done really well. They sort of show it happening, but then I just like how they show the gradual turn of events. They just show like the facial expression of Peter, and they showed like time passing, but the facial expression staying the same, and it's just a good way of showing like what's happening without directly showing what's happening again, and it doesn't take away from the story at all. In fact, it adds to it, and yeah. And that's where this has the one-up on Midsummer for me. It does a better job at storytelling than Midsummer. But again, we'll get to it. That was the main thing that I wanted to talk about with this. But yeah, Hereditary 2018. Yeah, this shit with demons. It's like, I don't want to give away too much. That's as deep as I should go into the plot. Spooky shit starts happening basically after that. I do not want to ruin anything. Other than that, I think I'm actually going to end the review. Let's keep it short. Make sure that no one's in the chat. Anybody in the movie chat? No, I didn't think so. That's okay. But yeah, I'm going to rate it and then move to the next movie. So yeah, generally pretty good. Good performances. I think she did get snubbed. And the only reason that movies like this don't get nominated for Academy Awards, I think, is just because they're a horror movie. And there's a lot of other politics to go with it too. But the fact that it's a horror movie, it would never get nominated, right? That's what I think. Because think about it. What's the last horror movie that you think you can remember that got nominated for Best Picture? Yeah, there's ones that have been nominated for effects and shit, like American Werewolf in London or whatever. But I can't think of one that won or was nominated even. There might be, but I can't think of one. Anyway, Hereditary, 2018, good film. Did I say anything bad about it? You should try to nitpick it a little bit before I rate it. It was pretty good. It's a little long, I guess, but it's not. It uses its time pretty well. It could have been cut down a little, but just like a little bit. And some of the things maybe weren't super scary. Like I said, I sort of made that comment about the dad's performance being sort of silly, Steve, when he gets burnt up. But actually, there is one more thing I want to say. There's a part where Annie's having a bad dream and she's imagining Peter, her son, with like ants crawling out of his mouth and shit. And I don't know why I thought this was funny, but my brain just went straight to, what if they just changed it? Like they flipped the script all of a sudden, and now it's a movie about ants. They're like the ants are the villain, and they're like killing people.
Yeah.
No, I'd be like that's I want to see that cut, that of the movie, like that director's cut. Anyway, that was just a really stupid note I wanted to add. Hereditary, I'm gonna rate it. I'm gonna give it like, I'm feeling. Let's put on a beat to give me some motivation. I'm feeling Garage Boys instrumental from Patrick Jenkins.
That's right.
That's it. I'm feeling 7.8. Yeah, not quite 8. Not quite 8. It's pretty good though. I think that's fair. I feel good about this. Alright. I'm a real movie critic like Leonard Maltin. 7.8 out of 10. Doug's Hereditary, baby. Consider joining the Discord. Yes, indeedy. It's in there. Check it out. Alright, that's it for that review.